I think Dan Biggar's the inform 10 in Wales. Delighted with his game management, particularly over the Heineken games, Toulouse home and away, and his general play against Leicester in the Heineken Cup. I thought that he's one of the standout players. I think it's important that he gets an opportunity, and please, can you keep the pressure off him? All our 10s that have played the game, we've seen what's happened over recent times when the number 10 in Wales, and it's important that he's given the chance to develop. It's a big game for Dan. Obviously, he understands that, but our Welsh culture and the way we talk about our 10s, it's important that Dan is given an opportunity and a chance, and he'll certainly be given a chance from the Welsh management. He understands there's a competition with James, but it's a big starting game for Dan, and he's been exceptional this week. He's a key player, and we support him in everything which we ask him to do. Just, I think when you look at that front row, Lions experience, we missed Adam Jones back in the autumn, and as I said last week, he's probably one of the best tight ends in world rugby, and what we've seen over the last 6 weeks of scrum has an important impact on the game, and it's an area which not only starting but off the bench as well, in terms of Craig Mitchell, Paul James and Ken Owens, that we feel we've got a lot of strength and depth. It's an area which obviously we didn't have that strength and depth in the autumn, and I'm delighted to have Adam back, and also both Craig and Paul off the bench, because 60-70 minutes is important to have those options on the bench and the strength on the bench to come on. I think what we focused on over the last 2 weeks is about us getting our game right and getting our selection right. Ireland's selection had no bearing on what we selected. Well, look, they're medically unfit. Both Richard and Ryan were close. As I spoke about up in the Six Nations, that is about the healing process and being right. And unfortunately, Ryan and Richard, along with Ian and Ellie, just come up short. And I think from a coach's perspective, we want those players to be available for selection next week. And I think the medical reports we get back, they are going to be in the mix for selection. So this game is just a little bit too early, but we feel that we've got enough strength and depth, and that competition for places is key. International rugby, you need a set piece, and I think that the back five in particular, in terms of identifying your line-out exponents, were pretty important. The landscape of the game, which when we played against Ireland, there's almost a high number of line-outs, and there's an area which they're going to target. So I think that it was important that we had options at line-out, which are going to be key, and that's what we've been working on over the last week. And I'm delighted with Ollie Kern coming off the bench. Obviously, he wasn't in the initial squad. He's part of a successful team in Quins and played particularly well in the Heineken Cup. He covers only 4, so we have to make sure we've got options within that 23 when we need to make changes. We've monitored Ian over the last couple of weeks in particular, and he's come back from injury. It's not a fresh injury, so the workload that we got into him from a physical conditioning perspective was important. He's done a hell of a lot of running, in fairness to him, and I asked him a question, just make sure you're right, and we would never pick a player if we felt that he felt he wasn't right. But his enthusiasm, his record when he starts for us is second to none. 2008, 2012. His technical ability at line-out, and it's something which is certainly we'll always need against a side like Ireland. So it's good to have him fit. Be blown a bit, but he knows that, and obviously that's where we need to have options on the field and off the field in terms of the bench. Maybe if we had other options up front in terms of the injuries, then the back row might be slightly different. It's not to be, and sometimes you need to make those decisions, and we made that decision. We think Aaron Shingler, the consistency that we had in the autumn, he played particularly well when he came on against the Blacks and started against Australia, and he'll give us an edge. His ball carrying ability was good, and he's another line-out option. So his tackle rate after the tackle area is good as well, so is another someone on the ball. So he brings that edge, physical edge, and it's something which I'm sure that he'll be motivated to do on the weekend.
Well, the back row we picked this week is the same that we finished with in the autumn, so there's that consistency there, and I think we're in a very fortunate situation to have, for the coaches to have these sort of selection dilemmas really, and it just shows the strength that we do have in the back row. So it's nice that those options are available. Like Rob has said, Aaron's a great line option for us. Toby, predominantly being ball carrier, he's great on the floor as well. I think the three we've picked, we do cover all the bases as the balance goes. So I think it's a well balanced back row that we've picked.
It's a good side. Expect any side that Declan picks, with Zebo on one wing. And Gilroy on the other, obviously very left-sided. Obviously with Rob Kearney back, a guy who's very good under the high ball, and I'm sure as a back three they're going to ask as many questions as possible. So in terms of our kicking game, it's pretty important, but they seem to have a foundation to play off, and they've got a pretty good general at 10 as well. So we probably expected that team to be selected. So as I say, we've tried to concentrate on ourselves, and I think that's what this weekend is about. And talk about momentum in games. It's always a first step big game. We proved last year when we went to the Aviva that when we're on edge and we turn up mentally and physically right, we're a good side. And I got no doubt that we'll turn up on Saturday on edge and mentally and physically ready for Ireland.